Well, hello again, second graders. It's time for some more math. Today's lesson is 11.5, and it's found on page 729, 729 of your math workbook. And in this lesson, we're going to talk about angles. And when we talk about an angle, it's really pretty simple to understand. Where you have any two lines that come together at a vertex, remember that vocabulary, the range between these two lines is its angle. So there's an angle, a way of measuring that. Now, we're not going to be asking you to measure that angle or even in this unit teach you how to do that. We just want to teach you to recognize that this right here is an angle. Now, depending on the shape, and I'll remind you, these are all two-dimensional. That means they're just flat shapes. Any kind of shape, and I don't care what that shape looks like. It can look like this. And you need to know that every place that there's a vertex in any shape, there are angles where those lines come together. Now you get a spot like this one here, you've got an angle on this side of it, and you also have an angle on that side of it. And here you have an angle, and here you have an angle, and here you have an angle. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a hexagon, 6 sides. And within that, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 angles on the inside. You also have angles that appear on the outside as well. But we're mostly going to be interested in the angles that appear on the inside of these lines of these different shapes. So let's take a look at what we got in this lesson. First thing is they want you to draw two different triangles. Okay, so we're going to draw two different triangles. What is a triangle? Tri. That means 3. So this shape has 3 sides. Two different triangles. Now you can draw a triangle like that. You can also draw a triangle like that, because they each have 1, 2, 3 sides. So there's two different triangles. Now, just to take this a little step further, each triangle has 3 angles. You see those angles on the inside? These are your vertex, remember? So there's 3 vertices on a triangle because there are 3 sides. Well, that was easy enough. Let's go to page 730. What kind of fun stuff do they got for us over here? You know, really, math is a lot of fun. You know what I like about it? You know, it's kind of like you have a mystery and you've got to solve it. Or it's a puzzle and you got to figure out how to solve the puzzle. And it really is fun to engage our minds and figure things out. It starts on the top of 730 by saying when two sides of a shape meet, at the vertex, it forms an angle. Depending on how many sides everywhere those sides meet, you have an angle. A triangle, for example, like it shows you in the picture, has 3 angles because it has 3 sides. This quadrilateral here has 4 sides. So it has 4 angles. That's pretty easy to figure out, right? If you can count the sides, you can tell me how many angles are in that shape. What kind of fun stuff do we got next? Well, let's take a look and see. The next thing on our list is circle the angle in each shape and write how many. So it's asking you to circle the angle. In other words, it wants you to find the angles. And this first shape is a really funny shape. It's a pentagon. A pentagon has 5 sides. And this shape looks like this. And then it goes this way, and then it goes this way. And it wants you to circle everywhere there's an angle. So look at where any 2 lines meet, and then circle the angle associated with where those lines meet. And that's what you end up with. It'll look just like that. And there are 4 shapes there. The second one is a hexagon, 6 sides. The third one is actually it's a parallelogram. It has 4 sides. And then the next one is a pentagon. It kind of looks like a cockeyed diamond. And you just need to circle everywhere the 2 lines come together. I think you can do that pretty easily because you all are really smart. The same thing with 5, 6, 7, and 8. You got a triangle, you got a quadrilateral, you got a rectangle, and then you got another weird shaped hexagon. And just draw a circle around where the lines touch. At the vertex of those 2 lines, draw a circle around it, and that's the angle. See, you're already figured out how to recognize angles. Now, they're going to call on your artistic creativity here for problem number 9. It says, draw more sides to make the shape and write how many angles. Now, it's asking you to draw a pentagon. And again, if you're not firm on that vocabulary, you've got to know a pentagon has 5 sides. So you need to draw in 3 more lines to make that shape. The next one is a quadrilateral, and we know that quad means 4. So that means you've got to draw 3 more lines into that picture. And then, where those lines meet is where you will find an angle. Now, number 10, it really is stretching your creativity. It says, draw 2 shapes that have 7 angles in all. Draw 2 shapes that have 7 angles in all. Now, here's an easy way to do that. You know, if it's got 7 angles, it's got 7 lines, and it's got 7 vertices. So just take your pencil and draw 7 dots. Those are your vertices. Now just connect the dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See how easy that was? If it wanted more angles than that, just make more dots. If it wanted less angles, make less dots. And each one of those vertices will then represent an angle where those two lines come together. Number 11 is saying Ben drew three two-dimensional shapes that had 11 angles. So now you're just being asked to do it with 11 angles. They're really pushing your ability here to draw something crazy, because now if you have 11 angles, we got to make 11 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now, what kind of a crazy shape is this going to turn into? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It looks like the fender off an old Ford. You don't think so? Well, you put your tire here, your headlight. Now, does it look like a fender off an old Ford? Let's give it a hubcap. Just kidding. Anyhow, all I did was make 11 dots and then tied them all together. So let's test this and see. Hang on, let me turn this back into a shape instead of a car fender. So we've got 1 angle, 2 angles, 3 angles, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now you got to draw another shape. I think you can do that now that you know how easy it is. Number 12. Fill in the bubble next to all the shapes that have 5 angles. And again, 5 angles, pentagon, 5 sides, 5 angles. The first one has 6 sides. That would be a no-go. The second one is a very traditional looking pentagon where all 5 sides are the same. The second or third one is a quadrilateral. It's only got 4 sides, so that's no-go. The last one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. That's a pentagon and it has 5 angles. Now, looking at your homework on 733 and 734. 1 and 2, it's asking you to circle those angles like we just have been doing. Number 3, you got to make a shape that has 8 angles. And you want to know one of the most standard shapes that has 8 angles? And actually, you see them every day. I got 8 points, right? When we tie those all together, what do we end up with? A stop sign. That's right. Stop signs have 8 angles because they have 8 sides. You know what else has 8? An octopus. Did you know that? That an octopus has has 8 legs. Boy, that is one sorry looking octopus. Octa means 8. And so this is called an octagon. Don't make the mistake and call it an octopus. And don't make the mistake and think that's what an octopus looks like. Hey, I'm a math teacher, not an art teacher. So anyhow, an 8-sided shape is called an octagon. And the most common octagon we see all the time is the stop sign. So I don't think you're going to have too much problem here. Let's look at your spiral review. And what they want you to do to remember from previous lessons is to get your ruler out. And this time they're going to use standard measurement, and you got to measure the length of that line in inches. And then we've got another picture graph that you have to figure out some data from it. Now, that takes care of lesson 11.5. 11.6 is going to be sorting out two-dimensional shapes. How do you use the number of sides and the angles to sort the differences on these two-dimensional shapes? So we'll be doing that tomorrow. In the meantime, keep up the good work. I understand you guys are doing real well with this geometry. I'm so proud of you. Take care of yourselves. Have a good day. Be safe and be kind to everybody. Bye now.